my time, drinking wine, feeling fine, waiting here to find.
Welcome back. You already know what it is. It's your girl, Just Jules. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Give your girl a thumbs up down below to join the Juju Bean Squad, the best squad to be a part of. And here's to you joining the Juju Bean Squad. I have a drink, except it's water. Because after yesterday, I'm not drinking no more. I was drinking the other night, and it was just too much. I woke up with a hangover, which normally doesn't happen for me. But here's to you joining the Juju Bean Squad. Ooh, it was water. My liver's gonna thank me. But you already know what time it is. Let's get back into the video. So this story time takes place, or this story is about Toxic being jealous of me, trying to set me up, and snitch on my mama. If I'm grown, you cannot snitch. Like, what? Does that even make sense? Check yourself. Anyway, let's get straight into it. So this story takes place, I think, sophomore year of college. Me and Toxic are still friends, of course, because I always took her back, y'all. She did me so dirty, and I would just always take her back. What was wrong with me? Like, really, I don't know. Anyways, so as y'all know before, me and my friend Toxic have been friends for years. Our moms are friends. We're friends. We met each other when I was probably 13 or 14, and she was probably 12 years old. Toxic is 1 to 2 years younger than me, but the girl, she was always faster than me, knew more than me. Like, she was just a busybody, and that's why we call her Toxic, because she always did the most. But with that being said, our moms connected because my mom ran group homes back in the day, and she's actually opening up a facility, but Toxic's mom does foster care. So both of our moms really worked with children, and that's where they really could connect, because my mom was extremely strict growing up. I could not do nothing, y'all. That's why when I turned 18, baby, I was outside. But because of that, our parents really connected and bonded, and that was something that I guess a lot of moms didn't do at the time. Like, a lot of moms were not entrepreneurs. A lot of moms had 9-to-5s. Mine didn't, and I was always jealous of people who had parents that had 9-to-5s, because my mom had way too much time on her hands. Y'all, when I tell y'all she was watching me, she was watching me. She had eyes on me like a hawk. Our moms met because my mom had so much time on her hands and was so protective of me because I am her only child. So whenever I wanted to go somewhere, she made sure that she would talk to their mama on the phone, meet their mama in person, ask a million questions. And I guess when that happened, our moms just bonded naturally, and the rest was history. So with that being said, I know Toxic's family. I know Toxic's mom. I know Toxic's dad. Toxic's parents are married, and she has a bunch of siblings, some biological and some are foster. With that being said, her family was always fun to be around because there was so many of them, and there's one of me. I am an only child on my mother's side. My dad does have more kids, but growing up in the household, I was the only one. Boom. So Toxic has a big brother named CJ. We're gonna call her big brother CJ, and I've known him for as long as I've known Toxic. Like, we're all pretty close. I'm that friend that's just always around. I'm the bestie. I'm the homegirl. I know everything, and I'm in everybody's business. Okay. So because of CJ and Toxic always arguing, like, I would always just laugh and like see it. Like, they would have like little petty arguments. I want to say CJ is 45 years older than Toxic and I, so maybe at this time, I'm a sophomore in college, which would make me 19, right? So I'm 19, Toxic's probably 18, and CJ is probably 24, 25. Now, CJ is married to a woman named Tiny, and Tiny is 24, 25. They have children together, and I know y'all thinking, child, what does this have to do with Toxic betraying you and setting you up and trying to snitch on your mama? But I'm a get there. Just be patient. It's a little bit of backstory, but just be patient, y'all. The story is a building. We have to build the story. So, with that being said, Tiny has always been pretty close to Toxic because Tiny was cool for her age as an adult, I would say. Even though she had like 45 years on us age-wise, she always acted our age, and I think that's because she got married so young to CJ, Toxic's big brother. And I feel like that kind of just made her want to have more girlfriends and fun times. So Tiny is Toxic's sister-in-law. Remember that. Tiny is married to CJ. right? So with that being said, Tiny will often be hanging out with Toxic and me and stuff like that. And y'all, CJ did not like this. He's like, you're my wife. Why are you hanging out with my little sister? Because Toxic was fast, y'all. Like, even growing up, Toxic was fast. She always had to move. She always knew to drop on where the man was at. She knew everything and she did everything, okay? Like, if it was a plan to be made, she was making it. She was the fun homegirl, which is why it took so long for me to cut her off, because naturally I'm not like that. Naturally I'm just a homebody and I just didn't have the moves. And even if I did have the moves, my mom wouldn't let me have the moves from her house. I had to have moves from Toxic's house, because Toxic's mom was a lot different than my mom. Like, yeah, they did the little group home stuff together, but Toxic's mom, a little bit more lenient. You know what I mean? So Tiny was always hanging out with me and Toxic, and CJ just was not messing with that. They used to argue about that a lot. But eventually, CJ and Tiny's relationship start having some turbulence, or just like struggling. The relationship starts struggling because Tiny felt like CJ wasn't playing his part as a father, and I guess he felt the same way, vice versa. Like, Tiny just felt like she wasn't being. Tiny felt like she was the only person financially responsible for their children. And I'm going to just say this. I have a soft spot in my heart for single mothers. I'm going to always take the single mama side. I'm going to always take the mama side, because being a mother is hard. I'm not a mother, but that's something I really want in the future. And I just feel like single moms, man, like, shout out to single moms. That's just how I feel. I feel like women carry so much of the burden bringing the child into the world and taking care of the child. So it's like CJ and Tiny beefing. I'm going to take Tiny's side. And I feel like I'm going to just support Tiny and whatever she wants to do. I ain't got no problem with her. It would be situations or times where CJ and Tiny was getting into it, and I'd be like, CJ, you wrong, you know, and Toxic could be like, no, Tiny is wrong because that's her brother. And like, me and Tiny have always been the extras of the family because we're not related to them, but we are always around. So I'm gonna take Tiny's side. Now, with all of that being said, Tiny ends up becoming a burlesque dancer. That's what we're going to call it. She ends up becoming a dancer. And this is because her and CJ are separating. Like, they're on the midst of getting a divorce. They're not living together. She's the only one taking care of the kids, allegedly. But all of this negative stuff is happening, and they got like 3 kids together. So she got to do what she got to do for it to work. You know, she's trying to make the situation work. She got to do what she have to do to feed her family, to feed those babies. I don't care. It ain't no judgment in my heart. I'm riding with you. So Tiny tells me and Toxic that as she becomes a burlesque dancer, she wants to give one of us, or both of us, if we wanted to trade off, the opportunity to drive her to the city she was dancing in. So, like, let's say you're a burlesque dancer and you don't want nobody to know that you're dancing. You're going to drive to a different city to dance because you just want that privacy for yourself. And 2, the city that I'm originally from does not have strip clubs, y'all. It does not have strip clubs. The city I'm from is not known for strip clubs. There are no strip clubs. So the nearest place you can dance is the next city over. She tells us that if we want to drive for her to and from work, we can do that, and whatever she makes, she'll pay us. Like, she'll pay us round it off, if that makes sense. So if Tiny makes $627 that night, she's giving you $27. So she's rounding off from like the nearest 100. If she makes $298, she's giving you $98. So whatever she makes for the night, if it's not rounded to 100, anything after that 100, she's gonna pay us. Now, at the time, Toxic was already driving, and she had her own car. She had it together. Like, one thing about it, she did what she had to do fast to get the freedom that she wanted. Me, I was a late bloomer when it came to driving. So at this point, I still don't have my license. I still don't have a car. And I'm just trying to pass my driving test because I failed so many times. But that's what I was trying to do at that point in my life. So I seen that as an opportunity to, 1, make some extra money, but more importantly, get some driving experience. So I take her up on the opportunity. Toxic never takes her up on the opportunity, but guess who does? Jules. I'm like, yeah, this sounds cool. I'm down with this. And I get to drive. I'm feeling grown. Like, oh yeah, baby, we're doing this. So I start driving Toxic to work. Now, because I'm driving her to work in the next city over, which is like an hour, I have to go into the club with her. Mind y'all, I'm not 21. I am only 19. I am an adult, but nonetheless, I am underage. So she had to talk to the bouncer like she's with me. She coming to, drive me. And when I would come to the club with Tiny, I would sit at the bar. And I was going with Tiny like a couple times a week, maybe 3 times a week. So when this started happening, I started seeing Tiny's customers. And she had one customer in particular, and we're going to call him Howdy. Howdy was a customer of Tiny's, and Howdy had the bag. Howdy had the bag. Howdy gave out the bag. Howdy was a good time. He was funny. He was cool. But Howdy was like a huge white man. Like, Howdy was a big. Howdy took up so much space. The space took up space, right? But nonetheless, all the women flocked around Howdy because, one, he was a trust fund baby. Two, he had the bag and he was spending it. But my bad. But Tiny was telling me, like, listen, if you make sure he ain't giving money to nobody else, I'll break you off a little something. Like, just keep him entertained, Jules. Just entertain him, laugh and giggle with him. And when other girls walk up to him, shoo them away. Like, be the homegirl repellent. Be the female repellent, because that right there, that's my bag. And I'm like, I got you. Like, I'm that homegirl. I'm gonna have you. If you say you need it done, I'm gonna do it. I would just be entertaining Howdy. Howdy would be like entertaining me. Like, we would be taking shots together, having fun. And I'd be like, oh, look, that's Tiny on stage. Like, you should go tip her. Like, I'm really trying to plug my girl in because I want her to get the bag. The more she get the bag, the more I'm gonna get to the bag. Like, that's the type of person I am. Teamwork makes the dream work. If you get it, I got it. Like, it just makes it better if everybody's balling, right? So this was happening, and we would be telling Toxic about this, and we would all just be cool. But I feel like Toxic started getting jealous because I was making a little bit of coin for myself, and me and Tiny were starting to build a deeper relationship outside of her. Me and Tiny would start hanging out outside of her, which was no issue because, like I said, I've known Tiny for so long. Like, I've known you the same amount of time that I've known Tiny, so it's not weird. It's not like this is some new friend you introduced me to and I just took her. Like, no, I've been knowing her for a long time, just like I've known you for a long time. I don't understand why any part of that should be weird. I don't know. I feel like she started getting jealous because not only was I making money from driving Tiny to the location, like to her burlesque show or the club, I was driving her. Not only was I making money from that, but this opened up new opportunities for me without having to do a little extra. So eventually, Howdy, me, and Tiny would start like going out together, like not to a club or anything like that, but Howdy would be like, hey Jules, you want to come out to J. Alexander's with me and Tiny? And I'd be like, it's good with you? She'd be like, it's good with me. Like, I'm gonna see if he could break you off something. You know what I mean? So Howdy eventually became Tiny's beneficiary. Like, Howdy start paying Tiny for her time and stuff like that. And y'all, I did not believe Tiny when she was like, I'm not doing nothing with this man. Y'all, I did not believe her. But one day at the bar, Howdy was like, yeah, no, and I know that she's been through some stuff, so she's not comfortable with, certain activities or sexual activities. And I was like, y'all, she's been telling the truth the whole time. She has never slept with this man once. And I respect that. Like, it was just overall, it was a really cool situation because I could see how strong Tiny's game was and like how like she was just bossed up to me at the time. Like, I loved that for her, and I was excited about that happening for her, right? So he would start inviting me to dinner with them. Mind you, this is my homegirl and this is Howdy. So it's like the three of us. It's not awkward. I'm not with this man by myself. I'm not with him alone, whatever. And we would just like start going places together. If she wanted to go with him instead of to the club to work, I was down. Like, I never had an issue with it. I'm always going to be down. And I get a little steak on the side. Y'all know I love me a little steak on the side. So it was just good until one day Tiny called me and she was like, hey, Hattie is going to Michigan. Howdy's passing through Michigan and he wants to see you, right? I go to school by Michigan, whatever the case is. I am from Ohio, y'all know that. And she's like, Howdy wants to see you. And I'm like, okay, well, what we gonna do when he see me? Because he ain't getting in. I don't do that, y'all. I do not play like that. He's not getting none of this. So with that being said, Howdy wants to kick it with me and, stuff like that. I'm like, if we kicking it at the mall. Okay? So me and Howdy end up linking up and exchanging information. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool, whatever. Y'all know I'm a play my role. Like, I'm going to always be down to earth. I've always been personable, and I've always played my role. One thing about me, I've always played my role. I've never tried to swerve out my lane or swerve into somebody else's lane. I'm always play my role, the role that's for me, right? So I'm open, I'm open to hanging out as long as we hanging out at the mall. Now, mind y'all, I was nervous about this because this is my college town. So I don't need nobody from campus seeing me with this man. But at that time, it was really worth the risk. Like, we turned, not only is we going to the mall, but we're tearing down the mall, right? So I end up linking with Howdy, and what we end up doing, we end up tearing down a mall. Like, we communicate, he picks me up from my college, and we go to a mall, but I make sure we go to a mall extremely far away from where I live. So I end up saying, we can shoot to Michigan together, and we could just go to Somerset, because we don't need to be going to the mall in my town. For what? Like, that's weird. So I end up going to Somerset, and he's like, get what you want and stuff like that. So I get like 3 pair of Lululemon leggings. I get me a little MK bag, a little MK watch. I get me like some nice stuff for a college student. Now, when I look back as an adult, it's like, okay, he probably spent $500-$600, really ain't too much. But as a college student, that was everything to me. That was so much. And we end up going to dinner after that. Now, we are in Michigan. I'm from Ohio, he's from Ohio. So we do end up getting a hotel room together. Mind you, even that was risque, right? But when we go into the hotel room together, he plug up his little sleep machine. I change, but I'm not changing into no sexy robe, into no lingerie. I'm changing into some leggings and a t-shirt. And I make it very clear that nothing is happening here. Like, maybe you can rub my butt a little bit or something. I don't know. But nothing inappropriate is going on here. Like, we're not even kissing on the mouth. We're not even kissing on the mouth, sir. Like, we're not doing that. So with that being said, that weekend goes by, or those 2 days go by, and I come back to my college dorm, and my friend Kate at the time is like, where are you getting all this stuff? And oh my goodness, are you an escort? And I'm like, whoa, absolutely not. But I'm just like, I just went shopping. It is what it is. So I got the bag. I was acting very obvious that somebody took me shopping or that I got the bag because I was just posting all my stuff. I was excited, y'all. I was 19. I was excited. And I just got all this new stuff. When you're in college, you're broke. You're a broke college student. That's where I was. So for me to have the opportunity to get like some Lululemon leggings and a Lululemon vest and like some new makeup and a couple bags, like, I was definitely happy about that. I'm not going to pretend that I wasn't or that it was nothing to me, because money is very hard to earn. And like, I understand the value of $1. So I was really appreciative of everything that was spent on me. And I showed that clearly on my social media accounts. Like I said, follow me at jujubean_Jules. With that being said, it was just extremely obvious. And at this time, Toxic was calling me and she was like, oh, how'd it go? And I told her everything. Like, girl, he took me shopping. Girl, we did this. We went out to dinner. It was fun. We ain't do nothing. It was cool, right? So I'm thinking everything is okay. I'm excited. I'm buzzed. I'm feeling amazing. I'm thinking everything is okay. Until a few days later, my mother calls me and she says, did you sleep with Tiny's SD Howdy? Did Howdy buy you new items because you two slept together? Y'all, my face cracked. I was like, what? Like, I was just so shocked and surprised. I didn't even know what to do because, one, how do you even know who Howdy is? How do you know where Tiny work? How do you know that I was in communication with Howdy? And two, why do you think that we slept together? What? Are you dumb? Are you dumb? So I immediately start getting frustrated, but she's still talking. So she has Toxic's mom on the phone too. And Toxic's mom was like, yeah, Tiny told us that you went with Howdy and he spent some money on you because you slept with him. I hung up that phone so fast. When I tell you, I start dialing to Tiny. Like, I start dialing to Tiny so fast. I leave class and I'm like, what the is going on? Did you tell them I slept with Howdy? You know I ain't sleep with Howdy. What are you even talking about right now? Like, be serious. Quit playing with me. Like, I'm getting hostile at this point. Quit playing with me. You know I don't even play like that. Like, I'm getting there. I'm getting hot, right? And this is because one, I feel like I'm a grown woman. I know I'm only 19. I'm a baby, but I am legal. And I don't live under my mom's roof. Like, I live at my school. So it's like, one, if I did do this, who cares? What's it to you? Why are you in my business? Two is like, Tiny, Toxic, y'all supposed to be people around me that like care about me, and like for you to like even just for y'all to even just say that or put that out there is just disgusting. Three, it really is getting under my skin that it never happened. That's what's really getting under my skin. So she's like, no, I didn't say that. Toxic, she's getting jealous and she's saying that. And she's like, come on, Jules, why would I put you on to somebody that I'm not even sleeping with? And then say that you're sleeping with them. I'm not even sleeping with him. So why would I assume that you're sleeping with him? I know he can buy you things and be nice and give you money without sleeping with him because I'm not sleeping with him. So if it can happen for me, I know it can happen for you. Like, if I'm not doing it, why would I assume you're doing it? I'm the one that put you on it, Howdy. And I'm like, this is starting to make sense. But I'm really frustrated. So I call my mom back and I'm like, no, call Miss, we're going to call her Miss Jane, whatever. I'm like, call Miss Jane, which is Toxic's mom. I'm like, call her, call Toxic, call Tiny. Like, I need to figure out. And Toxic's mom was like, listen, Toxic told me that he bought you all this stuff because you slept with him and all of this happened. And I'm like, what? So I called Toxic immediately and I'm like going off, you don't know my life, you don't know my business. I'm not like you, like, I'm saying all of this. I'm saying so much and like my head is like pounding so bad. Like, my head is pounding so bad. Thank God none of my roommates were home because I was pacing back and forth. Mind you, I don't have a car at the time, because if I had a car at the time, I would have drove to where she was and like I would have drove to her mama's house and really slid her. Like, don't ever in your life think you can play with me like that. First of all, I'm a grown woman. If it happened, it happened. But two, it didn't even happen. So you're lying on me because you're jealous. Like, you're really trying to set me up to look like I done. Quit playing with me. So with that being said, we get into it real bad. I'm like, I'm gonna put sugar in your tank. The next time you see me, just know it's up with me. You're done for. It's over for you. Like, I am sending threats, y'all. When I get so mad or when I get to a certain level, I'm beyond I want to talk. So with that being said, she's like, yeah, well, I think that you did that, and I know you said y'all ain't do nothing, but that's what I think. I don't know. And she's trying to blame back on Tiny, and me and Tiny get on three-way with Toxic, and Tiny's like, I never said that. You're weird. We call Howdy right now. So I'm like, click, like, and I'm telling my mom, like, no, don't believe this. Like, this is all lies. This is so facetious. This is so nefarious. Like, this is a plot against me. Like, that just a hater. You know she a hater. Like, we done got into it before. I'm just like, wow, this is low. Like, I will never forgive you for this. This is so low. This is so disgusting. Like, you are such a hater. Tiny gave you the same opportunity, but you didn't take it, and now you want to take it out on me because I got a couple bags, because I got some Lululemon, because, you know, I bossed up over here. Like, y'all, oh my God, it was so embarrassing because I really thought I was bossed up because I had Lululemon and some new Michael Kors. Anyways, and it's still bossed up. At the time, it was bossed up, but I thought I was extra bossed up. Like, I got Versace. I was just like, as a friend, you would want your friend to have this feeling. Like, I want my friends to have the best experiences in the world, and I want them to feel like they are the Queen of Sheba, because that's how I look at my friends. That's how I look at you guys. That's how I look at women in my community. Like, I want you to feel like you're the Queen of Sheba. Because one thing about me, I'm going to feel like that. I'm going to feel like I'm the Queen of Sheba. Because it's fun as a woman to have self-confidence. So if you've ever struggled with that, or if you've ever been through anything to make you question your own confidence, when you get that back, it just feels amazing. And I'm just hurt. I'm hurt. I'm like, I will never forgive you for this. Like, this is just disgusting. You're a disgusting human person. Like, you're a disgusting human being. I can't trust you. You're foul. Like, child, I'm going in. But with that being said, a couple days later, Toxic's mom calls me and my mom again on three-way, and she's like, listen, we believe you now, because Tiny called Howdy and asked, with Toxic there, and asked if y'all had ever slept together, and he said no. And I think in their minds that this was going to bring me peace, and that was just going to make me feel so much better. Like, whew, thank you. My name has been cleared. I am innocent. The jury said not guilty. But that even just like enraged me so much more. Like, I got so much more enraged. I was like, not only did y'all start this rumor, but then y'all gonna call him and ask if it's true? That's embarrassing. And then y'all really gonna try to put a nail in my coffin because y'all thought I was lying? Because y'all didn't call to see if I was lying or telling the truth. Y'all thought, or her mom and Toxic actually thought that I slept with him. So I know their true intentions of making that phone call was to prove that I slept with him. You get what I'm saying? You're not calling him to say, hey, I'm just curious, did this happen? We're cleaning up this rumor for our friend, because at the end of the day, you started the rumor. So you don't get applause for putting out a fire that you started. Why are you even calling this man? Because at the end of the day, even if I was lying and it did happen, it's none of your business. It's none of your concern. Like, y'all don't think that's weird? Like, you calling him is not weird to you? You don't think that's sketchy? Watching this video, please do not be weird to your girlfriends. Like, if you're a bad friend and you know you're a bad friend, please do better 2023. I had that on my New Year's resolution goal, and I always want to become better and do better. But if you're that type of person, I don't even know what to say to your kind, because that is never okay. Like, we not doing that. So with that being said, I'm like, y'all called him? Like, what? Who gives up? I told y'all it wasn't true. So the fact that you're trying to confirm if this is true or not after I already told you the truth is really starting to blow me. Like, y'all really trying to get dirt on my name, and now I'm really about to start cussing y'all out. So I'm on the phone, mind you, with my mom and her mom. Toxic is no longer on a phone call, but I'm that riled up. I'm cussing in front of my mama. I'm cussing in front of her mama. I'm like, y'all weird. Y'all trying to find dirt on me. It's weird. Like, y'all really want me to be like her. Y'all want me to be like Toxic so bad, and I'm not like Toxic, because Toxic has been through a lot, and that's just not my business to tell. But she's been through some things. Like, she's been through some stuff that grown women go through that we were in as teenagers. So my mom knows that, her mom knows that, like some people around the city know that, like, oh, when you kind of fast, people say stuff, or you go through stuff, or you just have certain things in your life that happen, and those things are unfortunate, but nonetheless, that's not my story. That's not me. You can say that's you, but that's not me. You know what I mean? And I just felt like her mom seen that as an opportunity to take a dig at my mom, like, oh yeah, Jules is no better. You think Jules is innocent? Jules is no better. So I just feel like her family was trying to use that, Toxic and her mother was trying to use that as an opportunity to take a dig at me and my mom. But obviously, the jury said I'm free, I'm innocent to go, because that was a lie. And don't you ever in your life make up anything about me, say anything to me. So we get off the phone. When we get off the phone, I call Toxic again, and I'm just cussing her out. You better watch yourself. You better watch what happens to you. I'm on you. I'm on your tail. I'm on your body. If you ever think that you're safe in the city, you're not. And we're arguing, and we're going back and forth. But she's saying hurtful stuff to me. I can't even remember, because it really wasn't nothing to say to me at that time. But she's saying hurtful stuff to me. And I'm just like, girl, get a grip. Like, really get a grip. I'm not fucking with you. Like, it's up for you. It was to the point where Tiny and Toxic used to get into it real bad, and I would just be like, Tiny, please spare her. Like, this is just how she is, and if we're gonna be in her life, we just have to accept that, which is not true. If you have somebody in your life that keep crossing you over, please let them go, because it only gets worse. So with that being said, Tiny was like, listen, Jules, I know you're mad. I'm mad at her too. I don't like her either right now, but you're taking it too far. And that's still my sister-in-law. That's still my little sister. That's how mad I was. Like, those are the type of threats I send out when I'm mad. Okay, I'm not joking. I'm not playing. When I say, if I put sugar in your tank, I'ma really want to put sugar in your tank at that moment. Of course, when the anger passes, I'm like, woo, I was mad, I was hot. And I was just like, I'm so angry. I'm so glad I'm not even in the city right now, because this phone call didn't happen while I was at home in my city. It happened while I was away at college. And my college is a couple hours from my house. And if somebody didn't pick me up that weekend, or my mom didn't pick me up that weekend, I had no way to go home or go back to the city. So I'm happy I had no way to get to her, if that makes sense. I'm happy that wasn't something I could do. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up, y'all. I'm gonna leave it there. That is the story of how my toxic friend lied on me. She was jealous of me, and she tried to snitch to my mama. Y'all, that was just so lame to me. I was like, you're a bird. You're lame. You're stupid. And with that being said, did y'all think that we was ever friends again? Did y'all think I really cut her off after that? Nope. So we always have another toxic story time featuring Toxic, because I did not cut her off after that. I was mad at her for a really long time, for maybe like a year, because we good for falling out for a year. But that wasn't it. I took her back, and she did me dirty again. But nonetheless, thank you all for watching. It's been real. Don't forget, join that Juju Bean Squad. Use them pretty little fingers to subscribe down below. See you later. Bye, guys.
Every day I spend my time